Hi everyone, delighted to have you with me on this Saturday morning Facebook Live, and I hopefully going to be sharing some devotions from time to time as I kind of discover stuff that I think is worth sharing. So glad that you will be joining me. If you haven't yet liked my Public Persons Facebook page, I'd love you to do that. Go ahead and do that, feel free. If you're watching this on YouTube later on when I post it to YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, it'll be great as well. And if you're watching on Instagram TV, maybe you want to follow me there as well, as I kind of continue this mission on what it means to be human. So I don't know if you can hear the hardy-dars in the background there, but I have been inundated with hardy-dars. But worse than that, I have an Egyptian goose that's decided to, at about 4:30 in the morning, get on top of my roof and quack for until about 7. So probably about 2.5 hours with non-stop. So living in Africa and having nature all around me. So as I've been kind of into this, I started a new reading plan called The Genius of Generosity by Chip Ingram. Don't know much about him. I feel like I've heard his name before. And when I first read day 1, which was today's, I felt it was pretty conventional and kind of understood what he was saying. The verse that struck me in one of the verses he mentioned was from Proverbs 11:25 that says, "A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." But really the thing that struck me most was in the last reading he gives in day 1 of this reading plan. And it's a story of Paul, who's been in Greece, Macedonia for 3 years, and is about to leave, and he's on his way to Rome, and he knows he's going to be martyred in Rome. And he gives this final message, which is really stacked with emotion. And when he finishes his message, at the very end, the last few verses describe that he kneels down and prays. And the writer Luke, Dr. Luke, he describes this moment, and I'm reading from the Message version. He describes it as follows. He says, "And then a river of tears, much clinging to Paul, not wanting to let him go. They knew they would never see him again. He had told them quite plainly. The pain cut deep. Then, bravely, they walked him down to the ship." Can you imagine spending 3 years having this man teach you in the scriptures and all that Jesus had spoken about, and now he was on his way to Rome, where we know he eventually is martyred. It's the final words of Paul in this kind of monologue, this kind of sermon he gives to them before this moment of kneeling and praying and walking him down to the ship that struck me. And if you read that monologue, you will see that as you come to the very last sentence that is recorded for us in Acts 20:35, and Paul writes these words basically after saying that he has come to them asking nothing from them. But he says this, "In everything I've done, I've demonstrated to you how necessary it is to work on behalf of the weak and not exploit them. You'll not likely go wrong here if you keep remembering that our Master said, 'You're far happier giving than getting.'" I think the thing that struck me about this last line, this last sort of instruction to these people, was not so much that I hadn't heard this before, considered this, but I found, and I kind of discovering more and more, that we live in a world that is capitalistic orientated, it's consumer based, and we are perpetually bombarded with this idea that we need more. In the same breath, things are running out, the global warming, and these are very real problems, inflation, unemployment, kind of this not enough, and so I need to accumulate, I need to get more for myself. And as I was reading this verse, I'm reminded of these words, "I'll be far happier giving than getting." No matter what the voices around me say, I know this to be true. So I would invite you to pray for me, as I would pray for others, that we would live relatively counterculturally, that we won't just see what's in it for me, but we'll understand, as the proverb says, you're far happier when you when you're giving. You'll be refreshed in your own generosity. And these words of Paul, he says, as he reminds us of the words of Jesus, he says, you're far happier giving than getting. So I hope this blesses you today, this Saturday, this weekend. If you're around Durban, Grace Family Church, we start a new series tomorrow. Hope you'll be one of our 11 services. God bless you. Thank you for watching.